What's up, YouTube fams? Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So it's been a minute since I made a video. I was kind of off doing some stuff at work and also kind of just like forward trading, trying to find that consistency and not instead finding ooh, should be a bit bigger. Instead finding break even for yeah, break even. So it's a good. It's been a good learning experience. Figured we could go over my trades from uh last week and then yesterday and then take a look at where we might go this week. There was no bias yesterday, so I was just looking for shifts, and part of my thing is I've been trying to get over my fear, right, and my anxiety and my stress, and I'm slowly working that out. And more importantly, my fear of actually like entering the trades, you know? Because when I first started the demo account, I was just like, ah, every time I got in here. And now I'm like, if I see what I'm looking for, I just enter and just go, win or lose. Um, my main problem right now is the stop loss. It's too tight still. And sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. So let's like work our way back and let's take a look at the my demo account and see how we were. Last week was I was feeling very optimistic, and I still am, if I'm being honest with you. I'm just um trying to work on my consistency. That's all. All right, so let's get timing. All right, so first things first, and my screen's up here and I'm standing up today. So first things first, let's take a look at my progress. 16505, right? I started the week at 16,767.50. Last week, I ended it at 16,767 and started it at, um, was it the 17th? Oh, I got the wrong thing. Scroll down. Yeah, I started the week at 1615, 1615, 1750. So, as you can see, if I go all the way down to the very end of this thing, you know, uh, this thing's in the way. Let me move it up here for a second. So on the 417, I started at 20,000, and we see, I got my 250, then I just consistently started dropping, doing crazy things. I think this was on NQ, right? Yeah. Uh, and then just terrible risk management and over trading and, things like that to areas to get me to this point. And then uh, just inconsistency throughout and very little green, as we can see here, very little green. So realizing all of that, so like even 517. So I've been fighting with this drawdown for April, May, June, July. It's about to be 5 months now of drawdown. But what has become exceedingly obvious to me is the fact that I'm not getting much worse. It's like I'm, slowly getting over the hump. First, it was the losing streak hump. Now I'm at the break even hump. So I'm like working through that hump to get to the, next hill where I start to actually be profitable in this demo account. So, in June, I actually dropped into the 16s and dropping. So and then July here, I've been flip-flopping back and forth and not getting any lower. So 16,505 is where I started the week, ended the week last week. Well, sorry. It's one of the numbers I was at last week, 16,505. Actually started the week at 16 on the 18th. Oh yeah, I made a good trade there that day. I started the week at 16,392.50. So I'm still ahead of the game from where I started, but you know, not doing just break even, not really like making my way slowly up. As we can see, three there, four there, and that's that's all I've been able to do for 2 weeks. Like one good trade, two good trades, one there and one there on the 21st. So last week I ended it, ate up all of my most of my gains and then brought it back at the end of the week to here, and now I'm, back down a little bit, 262. In any case, it's okay. I just finished meditating and just listening to ocean waves, just to relax my mind and stuff. So let's take a look at last week and, well, yesterday one. I think Kitty wants to come hang out. Found out that he's fully blind now, poor thing. Uh, so let's look at yesterday's trade setups, right? So after the news came out at 9:45, we had the 9:30 opening, and then we dropped due to swing. And honestly, I got in like about here with a stop above here, and it was bouncing around in here. It was gross. Then I saw this shift, and it was going up, so I took the long here, but my stop was too tight. So this was the last one I took here. So my entry was at 45.81.75. My stop was at 45.80.25, and then it shook me out. 45.81.25, so it shook me out around here where my stop should have been under here. So I was being cheap, really, really being cheap. So once this shift happened, this is just what it should have been, right? It's like 840 ticks, and the way I see it, I look at all of these. Hey, buddy, kitty. I look at all of these. I was waiting for it to break out of here, and honestly, like one of these, I was expecting a breakout, and I was a little trigger happy, so shouldn't have even happened. But yeah, it did. So after three losses, trying to be very, very, very strategic about my risk management, I stopped. I stopped trading and then just tape read it. But so I was looking at this low, high, low, low, low shift. So I was looking at this level here, so on the 5 minute. So 1 degree up is about 45.91.25, and what's the high of this candle? 45.92.50 for 40. So, one standard deviation up from there would have been about 38 ticks, approximately. And honestly, I once I hit over, I would have put my stop up and probably just aim for the top of this. Anything above that would have been good because it's just so stagnant and we don't really have a proper draw. So then the afternoon came, and then, yeah. So then the afternoon came and I couldn't do anything because it's the afternoon and I've already had my three losses. So I'm going to have to adjust that down to probably two so I can work this drawdown better. But the afternoon came and I was considering, so we had this shift right here. Let's zoom in. And I actually was looking at the, you know, premium discount for this, right? For this run. So I was expecting the return to come back up a little higher, so maybe midpoint or to the order block here. It didn't. It barely tapped the halfway point and then dropped, which would have meant that I had two thoughts in my mind. My first, where did that? My first preference was for an entry here with a stop above there, like that. And then um, my second, And the main entry should have been that, the stop above that. So that like a couple of ticks. And then that dropped, you know, dropped into this fair value gap here. Again, um, they just repriced into this fair value gap down here. I need to clean this up because there's so much in here. No, take this out. We still hanging out inside of this thing? Oh my goodness, they are. Look at it. They're still referencing this 15-minute fair value gap from before. I'm gonna take the big one off for now. And this is a new day opening gap from last Tuesday, Thursday that they're still also referencing inside of. And the open range gap from Monday. Clean that up. And then they're inside of this 15-minute gap from all the way over here. I'm gonna clean that out for now. I don't know if I need that one, but this one it's more recent. Anyway, so let's take a look at the aiming for this thing, right? So let's drop down to a 1 minute on the afternoon here. And let's see what we have. So we have a higher high, traded through. So we technically had a bearish breaker right here. With an order block. They rolled up in the top of it, so I don't know that I would really think there was a ton going on there for me to play with breaker wise. But aiming wise, 45.77 is not bad potential. Just using this high and this low once it broke below here to aim. But on the 1 minute, like this shift right here is a good one, right? Order block. Let's see, it's fair value gap, order block here. They took a little bit above it and then dropped. Honestly, it's not the best. Let's go back over here. Kitty's still eating. The movement yesterday was pretty shitastic, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we had this shift below this short-term high right here. Nice. So then any return would be something to take out this low right here. So whatever, let's say I drop the fib. This thing. Move this back down here. So if I drop the fib here and put it on this low, the halfway point looks like it would have been, let's see, that's 45.76. So the low of this is literally 45.76. Like, and then rolling into this fair value gap right here. But the morning, this was just a giant shit show and I shouldn't have even engaged. And I knew better, but I didn't. So I got chopped up in all of this. And now that we're here, what do we have? They just took out the PM high right here. Actually, do we have news coming in? I think I heard something about FOMC. So we have some consumer confidence at 10 a.m. and manufacturing. I probably can't engage with any of that anyway. I have to take my mom somewhere. Oh, so there's an FOMC statement at 2 p.m. and at some federal funds rate press conference at 2:30. All right, Wednesday's going to be fun. New home sales in the morning. So whatever's happening, I gotta wait till probably about 3 o'clock. Thursday we have GDP at 8:30, so unemployment claims. 10 a.m., 10:30. Wow, lots of stuff going on there. And then Friday, some more 8:30 core PCE comes in. And then, wow, okay. So we'll get some movement. We'll get some movement. All right, so besides that, terrible. Ah, let's take a look at, let's get a back testing window up. Let's take a look at last week. Last week's trading. Doing very well with the consistency. Kitty's back. Hey, buddy. Okay. All right, let's take that off for now. So we're just hanging out inside of this giant, well, the actual void right here that's been filled, but looks like they're still referencing it. Still bullish, obviously, because there's another one up here we can play with. But this is Monday. Let's look at last week. So I'm just gonna hit there. Sorry, I'm only looking. Cut. All right, cool. Let's go with daily. All right, so Friday was gross, and Friday was the day I actually made a little something something. So let's check the history here. So that was the 21st. The 21st, I took a long position at 10:18 and then tried another long, which was actually correct, but my stop was too tight at 10:38. So let's see. Let's take a look at that. It's only 15 minutes. And I didn't do anything in the afternoon on Friday. Oh, right, because I was dealing with my mom. So I only worked with the AM um, session. So let's look 5 minutes. All right, so let's see what I was looking at. So my entry, let me just review my trades so I know what the heck I'm doing. So first, let's look at my loss first on Friday. 45.70.25 with a 50 tick, $50 loss of 4 ticks. 45.70.25 at 10:38. So let's take a look at that. Oops, what? So around here. Okay, it's going to, let me just do this. All right, let's go into the 1 minute on here. 10:38. Yeah, so I must have entered here and my stop was too tight, got shook out on this candle, and then it went up to where I was expecting it. So I got 3 something at 10, well, I exited at 10:18. So it's a long position from 45.70. 45.77. So let's take a look at that. 45.70. 45.77. Oh, so I think I got it in here. So when it dropped, because I got out at 10, that was when I got out, sorry. So I got out at 10:18. Well, here when it was acting silly. Because we're in a retracement, so I got it like right up here. So I got it down here. So I think my entry was actually based off of a 15-second shift. Low, lower, low, shifted through 45.70. Yes, yeah, so I was basically looking for a fair value gap to get in on. And was it the 15-second, 30-second? Let's check here. So if my entry was 45.70, there. And 45.77 was there. So I took technically 25 ticks. At 312, 25 ticks or something like that. So you cut the 1 minute here. Oh, 45.77 because I was like that imbalance makes a lot of sense for me. Let's see. Right there. Okay. So low, lower low traded through. So I was expecting breaker. Huh. So I got in on this candle here. Probably because I was expecting this to turn into an inversion fair value gap. Let me grab my notes. Assuming I made notes, I was been lax journaling, if I'm being honest, which is not good. So probably why I'm not doing so great. I need to pay attention, stay on top of what am I doing. Hey, kitty. All right, so last journal I did was 718. Oh my God, I was sick. It's not good, not good at all, not good at all. So now I'm trying to figure out what I was thinking when I got into this trade, which is a good one. I know I saw what I was looking for. But why did I get in here? I feel like I got down into like a 15 or 10 second to find the entry. Yeah, and my stop. Oops. And then a stop under here. Yeah, there it is. So I was waiting. So this shift happened and I was waiting for a fair value gap. So this is 40, 70, 75. So yeah, I just waited for them to come back into here. Put a stop under here because it's pretty small. And then I was actually aiming for much further up. But seeing that it was meandering in this general vicinity, I just exited there and took my monies. That was fine. That netted me a good 3 something. If I had really, you know, been paying attention, we have a low, lower low, traded through. They had the breaker right here, so could have just had an entry at the top of the breaker here as well to get a little more, but you're never really as clear as you should be. And then when it came back down here, I set my stop too tight uh, for that $50. Let's see, 45.70 25, 45.70 25. Where did I get that? Yeah, I got stopped out pretty quickly, I think, on that one. Yeah, see what I was thinking as came back down. I expected it to continue back up at 70 25. This is where 45.70 25 is. Yep. So the shift, I think I might have been moving up to catch the top of that to go that way, but they went a little further on the stop than me, so it took me out. I waited for this one low, lower low, traded through. Breaker gone up. Did we even get 20 ticks on that one? Yep. Could have got my 25 right there, no problem. With a probably a 7 tick stop. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to really like take a look at what I was doing All right, so that was the Friday. So then the Wednesday, the Thursday morning, I took one, two, three, four. Actually included, I've included punishments now. So if I take one too many trades, then I have to do something. So I ended up cleaning the toilets, cleaning my partner's toilets. I let her pick what my punishments are going to be. So I had to clean the toilet because I took four trades on the 20th. So for this trade, I knew I shouldn't have touched it, but I did anyway. So I was like, I must be punished. Um, and look at the times. It's just wrong. Oof. All right, I'm gonna pause here. I gotta run to the potty. All right, sorry about that. Um, where was I? Okay, so Thursday's trades. So let's start off with working our way backwards. So this got closed at 11:37. I don't know, I was just pushing and pushing and pushing. Just pushing. I don't know why I was pushing so much. I was pushing for long too. All right, let's pull this to the let's pull this up to here. So short, 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 short. Four short attempts. I mean, from here, okay, but I just got chopped up, man. Chopped up. Let's look at this on the 5 minute. So we had this shift. Right. That's what was happening. So we had this shift. High, higher, high, shifted through, breaker. Now here's the silly thing, right? Here's the silly thing. I completely forgot, and this is why and this was the takeaway from this set, right? If there's a fair value gap in the premium area, I switch this out. Don't need that. Need that. Just take out. So if there's a fair value gap inside of the premium and I'm looking for shorts, then I should have waited for it to come back up. The other thing is, I'll recall thinking, okay, once we stop here, I can ride it back up to here. Didn't take it though. Remember, I needed to uh, review and see what I could have done because I keep having the right consideration in my mind, like, okay, so once we switch here, we got to come back up and at minimum, go back up into here or at least into the breaker. But with the breaker, you have to also remember that, you know, it's okay for them to dip back up into the fair value gap. And I forgot. So I was trying to take the shorts from here and yeah, it's just wrong. So let's see what I should have done, right? So this is on the 5 minute. And this is where, so my first attempt I recall was at the base of the breaker. Right here, they meandered about a bit and then shot up, took me out. Then I just kept trying inside of this candle right here, I think, approximately. And then let's look at the times when I got kicked out. 11:37, 11:32, 11:27. My first one, 10:59. 10:59. It was about, yeah, so I got in at the base here and then got kicked out here. I saw it was going against me, so I was just like, forget it. And then 11:27 was when I got kicked out of my short, probably on this candle here, on this candle here. What was my entry? Because I thought it dropped here, so let's see. 45.79. so my entry was right here where the stop above here, and then that candle took me out. I really, really was way too focused on the 1 minute, I'm sure, for this. Way too focused on the 1 minute because I was like looking at it like, okay, they've taken all this out. They had a shift. Okay, beautiful. So then the fair value gap, enter here, stop above here, took me out. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but it's not the right idea, especially when um, I should have been paying attention to this right here. So this fair value gap in the premium area for them to come back into. So I would have had one or two options. So if it's a short I wanted, I could have been like this, and my stop would have had to be um, like above this. That would have been too much for me. So then I would have had to think about, okay, let's use this order block right here. So the wick, so somewhere between the wick and here would have been a good entry. So that guy, and then I set my stop above that. I don't like that either. So I would have dropped it even more, which is bad. And there's also this volume imbalance. So we just would want it to be above the volume imbalance. So 14 ticks, fine. Let's push that up. So that would have worked. Maybe I could have, actually, sorry, the stop should be like a tick or two above this candle right here. Because of the volume imbalance, maybe 2 ticks. So 12 ticks. And then from this high to that low, aiming for them to take that out, obviously. So one standard deviation is about there. Honestly, don't know if they made it there. So, see, did we get there lunchtime? Ah, man, look at that. One good play right there if I just waited. Now, 103? It's not bad. I would have had to move my stop above here, which would have been fine because I probably would have had it at the 25 ticks just to be sure I got that. And I wouldn't have been stopped out, then I would have gotten that. Still too new to hold on to something like that, but that's what I should have done. And after the fact, I realized the ICT Reaper fair value gap. If you already have if you're trending, it most likely will come back up to the premium or discount, depending on which direction it's going. So that's what screwed me on Thursday. So boo to me for that. So all of that drama to miss out on that good run. So then on Wednesday, I was just meandering about 4 trades that morning, all long positions, 10:15 through 10 to 12. See what's going on Wednesday. All right, so let's go on the next day here. Again, everything's in the morning session. Okay, so this is the 19th. Yep. So my first $50 long position from 4604. 4604. Let's see. Yes. Actually, so this is one I didn't need to take a loss on. So ridiculous. I don't know why I did that. So, I took a long position from 4604. See at 10 something. Hold on. Right. Yeah. So I took a long position at this order block right here. It was trending upward, and it's okay right there at the top of this this, where is it? What am I doing? This order block right here with a stop below it, right? And I eventually got stopped out. I moved my stop up and it barely crested 17 ticks, but it did go up, right? Because this is where I got tagged in right here. 10:15-ish. Let's see. Well, this is when I got tagged out at 10:15. So I got tagged in here at 10 o'clock. So I got in there. So prior to getting my 4 ticks out of me right there, it had gone up to like 17 ticks and I hadn't taken anything, not realizing that I should have just got out with the tiny win. At this point, I was actually over 17,000. Can you believe it? I'd crested it in unrealized profits, and I was like, ah, ridiculous. So I consistently tried to take longs throughout this whole scenario. Um, long, just pushing the envelope when I should have been waiting for a very, 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 very obvious, shift, which this was, right? And this was at 10:54, and I literally stopped at 10:29. I was like, stop it. You've done too much, walk away. And I left. But how could I have actually, let's look at this on the 5 minute, right? Like, how could I have actually traded this, right? So we had the shift right here, short-term shift, fair value gap. That would have been perfectly acceptable for a short. Say, if I'd entered here, let's see, my stop would have had to be above that 16 ticks. I wouldn't have liked that. So I would have tried to push it up to the base of this right here. So I could reduce my risk to about that. And then I would have been aiming for like 25, maybe 40 ticks at most if I could get away with it. That's basically what I've been trying to do, 25 to 40 ticks. So I would have been aiming for just this right here. So I would have gotten 41. They wicked down even further, obviously. For how much altogether here? 60? But I would have taken my 40 thing right there and been happy. And that would have taken, how long? 30 minutes. Man. So let's look at this on the 4 minutes. So higher high traded through. It's 2022 model right here. Right? Nice. Come back up to, you really just have to wait, you just have to wait. Take that off. You just have to wait for price to reveal itself, right? Because look at that. Because I remember seeing the shift and like, it's still going up, but just being stubborn, right? Just being stubborn, right? So the shift, can't really see it on the 1 minute, but the 5 minute would have had the fair value gap in it, like so. Let's just make it orange too. Let's drop down to 1 minute. So then that would have been like where I would have wanted to enter. And but see, these guys made equal highs. There's a higher high traded through here. So there was a breaker here. But there was also low, lower low, nothing. Relatively equal highs. So I wasn't really looking at it as anything. But if I'd looked at this as a breaker, draw that out in time here. It's like as a bearish breaker, then seeing the behavior order block here, that would have been a good place for an entry. Maybe right there, and then set my stop above that order block. And then that would have been much more palatable for me. And then I could have gotten my ticks that way in quick succession there. nice. And they took these lows out right here. And then, I don't know if they continue on down. Instead of fighting with all of this, trying to go long, 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 and then failing miserably. So that was the 19th, and what I should have done, but didn't. So on the 18th, I actually took 2 losing trades first because uh, all longs, but then I recouped and did better on the 18th. So my first attempt was at 45.61 at approximately 10:25. So this was the Wednesday. So my first attempt was on Tuesday to trade. Monday I was on a plane, so there was no opportunity there. So let's come back this way. And this was like super trending, right? So this was like pretty easy to get something in here. So I took 2 attempts at it first and then failed. So at 45.61.5. 45, let's see. It's long, 45.61.5. So in here, yeah. 0.5, and my stop was way too tight. That's 4 ticks, $50, yeah. Way too tight. So in this general vicinity here, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what really happened here. Yeah, so I think I was trying to respect. Yeah, so this guy came along and I took along and I didn't set my stop below here where I should have. And I didn't do that, which is no good. So I took 2 entries, 45.61.50 and then 45.61, and I was just 10.30, 10.25. So yeah, so in this general vicinity of getting my butt whooped. Yeah, so I think this candle really took me out. 10.25. Yeah, that candle took me out. So I was working with this volume imbalance probably. So I was thinking about it. It's not quite right, but 45.61. Why would that be? Oh, this volume imbalance. Not the best choice. My stop should have been down in here, but I was being super cheap about it. Eventually though, I did get a good entry. That's 45.61.75. And then I got out at 45.70.50. Okay, 45.61.75. So I got in at 45.61.75 here. And I'm pretty sure my stop was pretty small then. And 70. I got about 35 ticks like that. Because I do believe there is a volume imbalance that we're filling up in here. So I had 35 ticks in my mind's eye. So, once this happened, shift, respecting that, I took the entry here. Let's see if there's something more exciting on the lower time frames that was helping me out there. No, not gonna give it to me. 30 seconds. No? Okay, let's go back to the 1 minute then. Oh, should just push this way, right? This is the Tuesday, right? So, let's see. Okay, good, we do have it. So there was something in here on a lower time frame that I was utilizing for the entry. Okay, so 30 seconds as far as I can go. A keeps ignoring me. My please. And then it went up even more than what I wanted. I could have maybe gotten my 40 ticks probably. Yeah, could have got my 40 ticks. Because 35 was here, meandered, then 40 was here. Not too far off. But anyway, so yeah, so once the shift happened, I was just looking at getting in here and my stop below here. It's not perfect, but it was a good trade. This short-term low made me feel better about it. And I was looking at the way they were behaving at the volume imbalance right here. And once they started respecting it, I just said, okay, cool, this is a good time, and went in. And lower low, traded through. We're also at this breaker right here. So I figured breaker, shift, it's not a bad spot. And there's also another one here that I was like looking at them, the top of that as well. Interesting. Anyway, so that's literally all my trades from last week. So, the moral of the story is I'm not getting worse. My ability to predict where a price will go is becoming a lot easier, but I am still very hesitant when it comes to my stop loss, and that's not helpful. And I need to, but I am working through my issues entering and entering the trades, which is important because I wasn't even taking them before. So now I have a better chance of getting the trades that I want. And I'm not as broken up about the wins and losses. But I need to be more diligent. Last week was a little hard because I was out. I had time to trade and leave and go do what I had to do. But be more diligent about my journaling and things moving forward. In any case, that's it for this one. Happy trading. Be safe out here. Drop a like. Drop your comments down below. Let me know how your process is going, how your learning is going, and if you're already like trading live funds, how that's going too. All right. So, uh, have a great one. Shakira out.